Before you head out into the field, there's a few safety measures that you want to have in place. For starters, we usually have a travel plan, so just let someone know that's not in the field where you're going and when you expect to be back so that they can send the cavalry if something happens. In addition to this, you're going to want to have a safety tailboard, which is essentially going over the weather and conditions of the site and any potential hazards. This is just to make sure that the team is safe and you know what you're heading out into. Notify DFO that you're going to set traps. This should be done 24 hours in advance. You'll be letting them know where the traps are and approximately how many traps you expect to leave there. We're just going to go over the items that you need to have before you head out into the field. For starters, you're going to want various safety equipment, a first aid kit, gloves, a life jacket, and a high-vis vest are really important, as well as bear spray if you're worried about wildlife encounters. You'd likely want an emergency knife and some sort of signaling device and a VHF radio. For trapping gear, there's a lot of different items you're going to want to bring. 6 of our folding prawn traps, and then we have 6 of the smaller minnow traps. Both of these traps catch slightly different bycatch, so it's important to use both in the program. 12 of the bright orange bait cups. Some sort of data collection device, so you can use an iPad or your phone or the paper data sheets that are provided. In the paper kit, we usually provide some sort of identification guide as well as a few documents on methods. A salinity and temperature meter. This is important to monitor the environment to see if it's good habitat for European green crab. There is a kit that's provided that has various extra supplies in case anything is broken. So we've got Ganjin, rock cord, there's flagging tape, extra bait bags in case you lose a bait cup, and a knife in case you have to cut anything, do repairs when you're out in the field. In the kit you should also have an extra trap tag in case they break off. The trap tags go onto each of the traps and are labeled with the holder of the Section 52 license or the group that is trapping, as well as their phone number. And on the back side it'll say European Green Crab Research, so if anyone comes across their traps, they know who they belong to, and hopefully will return them if they get lost. The other items for trapping are some sorting bins. The white makes it a little bit easier to identify bycatch. So you're going to end up filling those with water, and then when you pull the traps out, you'll empty the contents into them so you can count and identify anything that's been caught. Other items that you're going to want are your choice of the rope and buoy, or we have these L-shaped stakes that can be used to secure the traps. The stakes are really useful if you have a low current area and you're not worried about losing traps. The rope is better if it's high current. And the rope you preferably don't want to use in eelgrass or any type of vegetation that you might damage as it's moving around with the current. So the stakes would be used in those instances instead. However, the stakes are only helpful if you're in really soft sediment. If it's rocky, then you're not going to be able to get the stakes in. There's a few smaller items that we use. Fish nets can be helpful if you're trying to wrangle anything small in the trap. We use these lead weights, 2 or 3 pound lead weights, to attach if you have any heavy current and you're worried about losing your traps. There will also be some long zip ties included in the pack that are used to make the entrances to the folding prawn traps smaller. This is helpful if you're worried about catching raccoons or mink, as well as otters that might end up in your trap. The last thing that you're going to want to make sure you have is herring so that you can bait your traps, approximately 1 herring per bait cup. If they're small herring, you might use a little bit more, but generally about 1. And then these kits also come with the 2 backpacks to carry all of the equipment that we provided. One is tailored to be useful for the folding prawn traps, and you also hook the bait cups onto this. And the second is for all of the other gear. The rope is the only item that you'd likely want to leave out. I'm going to show you how you put the gear into the backpacks and how to adjust the backpack. You have the option of changing the shoulder height. Each backpack comes with these little pins that pull out, and then you move the bar up and down for your height. This setup is for the folding prawn traps. It has various straps that go around securing the traps. This backpack is also good for hauling the bait cups. The bait cups can be attached to the straps themselves or to the netting. For the second style of backpack, we use it for the minnow traps and the other gear. It can be a little bit awkward getting the traps into the bag, so generally You have to do a little bit of fiddling. It can get caught on the pockets and various straps on the inside, but just tuck it down all the way to the bottom, and then you can pile any of your gear on top or in the pockets.